Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Eric, and today is going to be part 1 of 10 of how to do diagnostic on equipment that comes in. And what we kind of got from you guys was you wanted me to pick something that comes in, and I can tell you what I know about it, and then we'll dive in how to diagnose it. Okay, so let's start off with, it's a Husqvarna 460. It looks like it's brand new. The customer said Tractor Supply had it marked down quite considerably and he couldn't afford to pass it up. That to me is red flags, because if they've got it sitting there at discount, that means it's went out, came back in, and they can't sell it as new. But they can sell it as good used, right? He said he tried starting it and he couldn't start it. So whether you're a do-it-yourselfer, weekend warrior, nights and weekends, or a full-time shop, this is how we diagnose here at this shop. You're going to need something to remove spark plugs with. You're going to need a compression tester, 3/8 ratchet to get the plug out, spark tester, and in this case, a Phillips screwdriver to get the cover off so we can have access. So what do you think is the first thing that we need to do on that? We're going to do compression, right? Something to keep in mind is that these 460s have a decompression button on them. That will drop it a little bit, but not enough to say so. So let's get this puppy tore apart. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I do read them and I do answer them. And we got a great crew here of a lot of experienced people that if I don't know the answer, somebody else will. So the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. All right, so we got the cover off. The first thing I'm going to want to do is compression. And why do we do compression first? Because if you don't have enough compression, there's no sense in going any further, okay? Just take the spark plug out, and I visually look at the plug to see what kind of shape. Is it got correctly? Is it corroded up? So we're just going to thread our compression tester right into the spark plug hole. Now when you do this, you can do it either way. You can do it with the decompression button down or up. I do it with it up, that way I get a true reading. Make sure we're set to 0. The button is up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 5 pulls if I can. We're at 76 psi. What I can tell you that I do know is that these saws coming from the manufacturer are 140 to 160 on a brand new saw. So what do we do now? We've got 3 options. We can either call it a parts machine and use the blade and chain and parts off from it. 2, we can go to Husqvarna and order all the parts and replace the piston, rings, jug. And the 3rd option is eBay. Now we've done it with eBay with the 340, I think it was, where we bought the jug online and we brought it in, we assembled it, it worked flawless, and my customer is still thrilled with it. So the 3rd option is I go back to that seller. I know he's got this jug because I already looked it up, and he's selling it for $49 for the piston, rings, jug. Drop it in and go. So knowing what I know the customer is going to want to go with C, the best option, right? If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you're looking at those same 3 options. Do I part it out? Do I go to a Husqvarna dealership and try to get the parts I need? Or do I source them through eBay? Don't be afraid of eBay. I'm telling you right now. I mean, some of the carburetors and that stuff are kind of a throw in the wind. But if you find a good seller, stick with them. Now, if we had compression on that saw of 140 to 160, 100 would have started it and ran, but it's not going to run at 75. But we'll just keep going so that people kind of get an idea of how to do diagnostic on a piece of equipment. You may have good compression, but you still can't get it to fire. So what we're going to do is just put the plug back in, okay? We're not checking to see if the plug's good. We're just checking to see if it's getting fire from the coil. So what we want to do is we want to plug this end into the boot, and then this end into this boot here. This one goes over the spark plug, and then this one goes to the coil. She's got good fire. So at that point, what's it telling us? It's telling us that everything from the plug wire back is good. It's firing and it's got a good bright spark. So once we know that, you know, it's not telling you that the spark plug's any good. If it comes into this shop and I'm going to do a service or do a repair on it, 10 times out of 10, it's going to go out with a brand new plug. Whether it needs it or not, I don't want any redos because the plug, you know, didn't hold up. All right, so the third thing is fuel. Fuel is usually the culprit here, guys. The two-stroke is not as bad as the straight gas that you get for your lawnmowers and stuff, but it still breaks down. And we like PRI-G. I'm not a sponsor. I don't get anything from them. But when I see a product that works, I don't mind passing it on, right? So that's something to keep in mind. You can get that on Amazon is where we get ours. But the problem is you have to get it in a 16 or a 32 ounce bottle. The 32 does 512 gallons, so it'll last you a lifetime. So once we have that, the shop rules here is I drain the fuel. I don't test the fuel. I don't sniff the fuel. I don't do anything with the fuel. I got a container. I dump it. We use it in the parts washer to clean up parts. But other than that, I don't want it there. So I would go ahead and I put fresh fuel in it. And then once I had the fresh fuel, I'd be looking at the air breather. And I'm not seeing one here. It's like it's missing that part too. But if it needed an air cleaner, which they get plugged up with the sawdust and stuff like that, if you can blow it out, blow it out. If not, then replace it. It's to keep that saw running tip-top shape. All right, so now that we know where we're at, it has no compression. How could it have happened to, how could this have happened to this customer? My best guess is this is why I don't like the big box stores selling stuff like this, because they don't tell the consumer everything they need to know like your local dealer would, right? And the big thing is it's a two-stroke. Two-stroke has to have mixed gas with two-stroke oil and gas. Mix it up, then use it because it has nothing. The four strokes have oil in the base, and that's what keeps everything lubricated. With these two strokes, that's not the case, right? We have to mix oil into the gas to keep everything lubricated. So my best guess is somebody took this home, put straight gas in it, ran it, and she started to seize up. And she ruined that piston, that rings, and that wall probably too, without even going there. So I did get a hold of the customer on this, and they want me to go ahead and order the kit and redo the top end. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Like I say, I do read them and I do respond to them. You know, these are a good saw. Husqvarna puts out a good saw. Steel puts out a good saw. What I find is it's kind of like vehicles. You pick whichever one you like the best. But when it comes right down to it, it's how well you take care of it. If you throw this in the back of the truck and it's rolling around all over the place and smashing this and making it look like it's 100 years old, you're not going to last long, or that saw is not going to last long. But if you take care of it and treat it like an investment that it is, they'll last you a lifetime. So on that note, you guys have a great day.